Thank you for watching this video demonstration of Blueprint's Migration Analysis and Planning, or MAP, product for Blue Prism. Blueprint MAP is for system integrators to efficiently analyze and accurately estimate and plan an RPA migration to Microsoft Power Automate Desktop. Blueprint MAP works with the entire RPA estate and also allows you to drill down into individual automations. It seamlessly integrates with Blueprint's Migrate product to perform an automated migration. Besides migration, it can also be used for RPA governance, compliance, and transformation initiatives. And in addition to supporting Blue Prism, Blueprint MAP also supports UiPath and Automation Anywhere A360. But this demonstration is going to focus on Blue Prism. Blueprint MAP has a broad range of capabilities, but in this demonstration, we're going to focus on these. When doing an analysis using Blueprint's MAP, the first thing I do is start with the main overview dashboard. It gives me an instant overview of all of the automation's key metrics like size, complexity, degree of redundancy across the estate, compliance violations, even sensitive data detection. And I can click anywhere to drill in and get further details. For example, here's the exact automations that violated that compliance rule, for example. Next thing I do is typically look at the list of processes. Again, with key metrics shown, I can sort and filter to focus on what's important. Next thing I do is head to Tools, Apps, which gives me a catalog of all the applications my automations are interacting with. Blueprint creates this by scanning all the code, so I know the list is complete and accurate. And for each application, I can see exactly which automations are using it. This is very useful in planning when I want the applications to drive my migration priorities. Another thing I do is head to Tools, Compliance. Blueprint scans all the automations for compliance and quality checks. This helps me assess the quality of the source automation code, which can impact how well it can migrate. And once again, I can see precisely which automations have these issues. So if I need to investigate further or take additional action, I know the automations that are affected. So those are the tools I use for general analysis of the Blue Prism estate. I work in this area for more detailed analysis, specifically for the migration to Power Automate Desktop. In here, there are detailed metrics for each individual automation in the table below, and they're rolled up for the entire estate at the top right and in the charts. I use other views that show me for the entire estate things like code blocks in the source, copies of code, unresolved references, and degree of reuse taking place. And often I do deeper analysis by exporting all of this and more to Excel, where I can do pivot tables, slice and dice the data however I wish to answer pretty much any question I have. Another area I go to is here, where I can get a summary of any custom actions, DLL calls, code copies, unresolved references, environment variables, work queues, again across all of the automations. It shows me the frequency of use and specifically which processes. All of this exposes what used to be hidden under the covers inside the automations, and it's all very important because all of these things impact the migration work. And when speaking of the work required, Blueprint estimates an automated migration for you. Here is an on-screen estimator. Blueprint tells you for individual groups of processes or the entire estate how many compiler errors there will be in PAD and how many to-do items there are going to be for the developer to complete. And then, if you set the fix rates for the different kinds of to-dos and compiler errors, Blueprint converts those counts into hours of work. Now those fix rates I just showed you for to-do and compiler errors, these values are averages that we've seen across many migrations. As you start to do your own migration projects using Blueprint, you'll typically tune these values based on your own experience. As before, these roll-ups at the top are for the entire estate. Down below, you can see all the details for each individual automation. That on-screen estimator helps you determine the work to complete the code, that is, finding and fixing all the compiler errors and completing the to-do items. Separate from this on-screen estimator, there's also an external spreadsheet estimator that Blueprint exports for you. This lets you do further, more refined estimates, and being in Excel, you can of course extend it however you like. We plan to implement this spreadsheet estimator inside the product, but for now, let me show you how it works. First, it extends the on-screen estimation of the conversion work to account for selector respying, runtime errors, any pro code that may be embedded. It also accounts for pre-work. That's the time spent analyzing and understanding the automations before you do the conversions. The time spent doing an organization's typical checks before production, like security, compliance, acceptance testing. And it also allows for overhead and contingency to account for things like skill variations across your staff, the quality of the original code, access to subject matter experts, and more. To export the spreadsheet estimation, you simply go Actions, Export Estimation Template to Excel. Here in the Spreadsheet Estimator, there are many sheets, all populated by Blueprint automatically, but it all gets summarized in this one overview sheet, where the pre-work is estimated, the conversion work, the post-work, the contingencies that I spoke of, even project planning and management overhead. There's a whole other video describing in detail how to work with this spreadsheet estimator, so I encourage you to watch that if you're going to do an automated migration estimate. So in this brief video, I was able to show you a few of the many features that Blueprint Map has. I encourage you to watch our other videos that show more features, or reach out to us directly at info@blueprintsys.com. Thank you for watching.